She swam ashore and looked up. Her husband was already up in a tree, making a phone call. She called out to him.
Serежа!
He panicked and quickly explained that he was just climbing the tree to pick coconuts. She turned her head and glanced at the coconuts scattered across the ground, but chose not to expose his lie. That night, she waited until he fell asleep, then quietly took his phone and checked the call history. Her suspicions were right, and now she knows everything. At dawn, she opened her eyes, only to find her husband getting up, ready to leave. She tried to stand as well, but then realized her feet had already been tied up by her husband. To avoid an argument, he chose to run away and boarded the boat alone. She untied the ropes around her feet and slowly walked toward the beach. By the time she reached the shore, her husband had already set sail. She turned around and walked into the jungle. Everything was already under her control. Earlier, she had secretly tied a rope to the bottom of the boat. Her husband's boat didn't go far before it capsized in the water. She returned to the jungle, split bamboo, and crafted a bow and arrow. Her husband made his way back to the island and confessed his mistake. She ignored him. He stared at the arrow in her hand, eyes wide. She calmly drew another one. He turned and ran. She leapt off a fallen tree trunk and the arrow flew. He slipped and tumbled down the hillside, barely escaping death. She didn't chase him. Instead, she headed deeper into the jungle to search for food. Later, her husband, holding a wooden stick, sneaked up behind her and attacked her. She collapsed to the ground. Only then did he realize he'd gone too far. As he stepped closer to check on her, he triggered a trap and was lifted into the air. She opened her eyes and slowly stood up. He asked if she was okay. She said nothing. She picked up the stick, ready to take revenge. Then she froze. She heard noises in the distance. It was a primitive tribe hunting on the isolated island. She dropped the stick and ran. He shook the tree to avoid being seen. He hid among the branches just before the natives arrived. Both of them narrowly escaped. Later, she demanded to know who the woman in his phone was. The husband had just turned around. Before he could even say a word, he immediately collapsed. They had both been hit by tranquilizer darts.